Nick?
What's happening, man? How are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing, man?
Good, bro. Good. Just enjoying a little bit of downtime for this week, and just it's 80 degrees outside. Beautiful, man. Ready to rock and roll.
What do you usually do in your downtime?
Read, study, learn. Right now, I've been on. I don't know if you ever heard of a good dude named Scott Adams, dude who created Dilbert.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, he's written some amazing books on persuasion, filters of life, just some really, really good shit on that type of stuff. I love reading books on neuroscience, like why humans make decisions. Like that's literally my downtime.
You're into neuroscience, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like the Thinking Fast and Slow, Daniel Kahneman, if you know him, just all the cognitive psychologists, the Cialdini, that type of stuff is like, humans, we're irrational, we're fucking crazy. So I try and understand like what is it about humans that makes us tick, and trying to understand where other people are coming from. It fascinates me.
We are crazy little fuckers, aren't we? What's your take on using like neuroscience?
I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you, bro. What'd you say? What's my take of what?
What's your take on like using neuroscience in sales and marketing? Do you think that's right?
Everything I do is based around it in regards to my VSLs, my sales presentations, all that type of stuff. I like to play off of what human tendencies and biases are, right? I think that if I've got something that I know for certain is going to help somebody, it's my duty to help walk them down a path to make the right decision, right? Like I don't do like buyer's remorse type stuff. I don't high pressure sale. I simply ask questions. And if they've got a pain that I can solve, it's my duty to get them to buy, right? So I use it all the time. And that's how I'm always reading about it, because I like to see where I can stick it in my presentations, my sales pitches, and that type of stuff.
So what do you think about the ideal of like a singular consciousness where we're all kind of linked up together?
I actually tend to believe that. I don't know. I don't like saying absolutes on anything. I like to be open, right? But I tend to actually do think that we are connected in some unknown, undescribable way. And there's ways to strengthen that connection, and there's ways to hurt that connection. And those types of things are going to lead to the quality of your life based on how you show up and represent yourself to an extent. So I think that we can tap into it more, or we can tap into it less,
So if there was like some type of technology, like some type of computer chip you could have implanted in you so that you could like access data instantly and communicate with people instantly, would you go for that?
If we could access data and put us all together, yeah. I mean, I'd have to think about something like that. It would be really interesting, because then it's like, okay, if we're all like literally instantly connected, it would depend on the context of the situation, how reality was currently constructed and how we were currently viewing it. But I would certainly be interested in working on that and learning about how to do something like that. No question.
What do you think the world would be like if sales and marketing didn't exist?
If sales and marketing didn't exist, I don't know how it would. I mean, I think we're all selling. I think it's impossible for it not to exist. In my opinion, all sales is getting someone to take action. I mean, the most important sale you can ever make is selling yourself to go out and do something, right? So I don't know how it exists without it, right? I really don't. I think there's shady salespeople. I think there's bad products. I think there's gimmicky techniques. I think fake scarcity, fake urgency, all those types of things are things I'm completely against, right? But I don't know how it exists without it, because we wouldn't be here. We had to sell ourselves to get up and take action, like that's where we start with it.
So you're real big into neuroscience and human psychology. I mean, and you talk about it, like you said, fake scarcity is kind of bullshit, but that's something that's really embedded in human psychology, that you need that for sales, right?
Fixed what? Sorry, I mean, you're all the way up. Let me see if I can. Volume was a little bit fixed. What was embedded in human psychology?
You said fuck fake scarcity, basically, but isn't scarcity something that's really embedded in the human psychology to want to buy something?
Oh, 100%. That's like a huge thing that comes in. What I think it can get a little silly is when it's blatantly false scarcity, right? Or scarcity that's used over and over again that we know is lying, right? I've got countdown timers on pages, things of that nature. Scarcity and fear of missing out is one of the biggest drivers in order to make people move towards purchasing. So scarcity, I think, is good. And I think that bringing impending doom into a situation is also good as well. I mean, one of the most powerful sales techniques you can do is tell them, hey, if you keep going the direction you're going, you're going to lose everything. You got to come over and do my opportunity, right? Like impending doom is a very, very powerful sales, pushing type thing. When I get to some of the blatant fake scarcity, some of that type of stuff, like, and that was going back to the marketing world, right? Like some of the tactics I think can be a little played out, and I don't think all of them are fully necessary. I think there's different ways to do certain things.
So how can we incorporate like real scarcity and real urgency?
I mean, by one, if you say, let's say that we're going to have, shutting off your sales courses when it's time to shutting them off, right? Like if we're going to only taking 100 people, taking 100 people, right? That type of stuff. And some of those things, it's just, really being real with the scarcity, like, I mean, there's specials that end. Black Friday specials end on Friday, like that type of stuff. That's real scarcity, and then of course people are going to, extend it till Monday and then until Tuesday and be like, oh wait, I'm not going to close it overnight because I want to get more sales till 5 a.m., that type of stuff. But, and even then, like, I understand some of it, goes on and it's a huge mover to buy. I think there can be certain ways of doing it better. And to get more specific, I would need to have the context and situation, the problem, the product, that type of stuff.
So those Facebook ads that you see all the time that are like, today only sale, those are kind of bullshit, right? Like their ads running every fucking day. I love that does that all the time.
Yeah. I mean, and it's tough. I'm actually kind of surprised the FTC hasn't come down on stuff like that. I think it probably will at some point. But I think there's ways to do it without it, right? And some of the biggest companies in the world do that without it, right? By creating real scarcity. Real scarcity is when, it's going to take 12 weeks to deliver, so you need to put your week in now, right? The Oura Ring, for example, like these things, they sold out for days. Like that's real scarcity. If you don't get it in now, you're going to have to wait an extra weeks. iPhones, when you first come out, I don't know if they fix this, but for a long time, unless you were like waiting overnight at line, it took a while for you to get that first iPhone, for example, right? So there's different ways to do certain stuff. But yeah, some of the Facebook things can get a little silly.
So tell me about your childhood. How was your childhood? What was that like?
My childhood, huh? All right. Yeah, man, grew up in the Bay Area, and parents divorced when I was 3, and played a lot of sports, baseball was my passion, that type of stuff. Hung out with my cousins all the time. My mom worked a couple jobs. My dad was, had roommates bouncing around. Lived with my aunt for a little bit. And stayed with my aunts, lived with my aunt, my mom, and then my aunts and did a huge part in my raising. My cousins are like my family. I am a single, I now have a half brother, but he's 15 years younger. Love him to death, but he wasn't there when I was a child. And parents got remarried when I was 7 and 10, and I love my step parents to death. And yeah, what else you want to know about it?
Did you ever get in trouble? Did you ever go down like experiment with drugs, alcohol?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. When I was 13 took my first shot, 14 started smoking weed, 15 eating mushrooms almost every weekend, 16 ecstasy, 17 cocaine, and then 18, everything under the sun, every prescription drug, different things, different days. It was one of those situations where I was more of a poly user and not quite like one thing hooked me forever, right? Like I'd have a bike, it didn't run for a couple of months, and then I kind of come off. It wasn't a huge deal at the time. And then I kind of switched it up. Alcohol was one of the common threads for, a decade. But yeah, I definitely experimented quite a bit, and then I got to Reno in college, figured out how to get straight A's in high school though, while I was doing all those things. So I was able to go out and do a lot of fun stuff. But when I got to college, life smacked me in the face, and I just turned into a total pothead stoner, dropping E every weekend. And yeah, wasn't too good, but started early. That's for sure.
What was that smack in the face that life gave you?
What's that?
What was that smack in the face that life gave you? I mean, like how did
failing school, man. I got a 0.23 my first semester in college, and I'm coming off a 4.0 for 3.5 years straight in high school. 0.23, and that didn't go over too well. I realized, I had to go to class, and no one was forcing me to go to class, and so really struggled with that. And then over the next 2 years, I kind of 1 year semester had a couple C's, things like that. Had a very serious relationship that kind of ended, and then my mom logged in one day, saw my grades, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And basically pulled me out of school, told me I had to figure shit out and stop paying for my university. And I kind of had to move from where I was at in Reno to Berkeley, California, with some friends, and kind of start the path of trying to grow up a little bit.
So what did you go to college for? Like, what were you studying?
Yeah. So I went to University of Nevada, and that's right outside of Lake Tahoe. It's in Reno, Nevada, outside Lake Tahoe, California. Studied business and didn't make it very far over there. So studied business, went to community college to try and get my grades back up, studying more business. I went back to Sac State and finally started getting my shit together there. I ended up getting a degree in finance with a minor in accounting 7 years later to get the 4-year degree. Took me a long time. I had the 6 community colleges in between that time and to raise my grades up. But yeah, studied business, finance, didn't learn much of anything other than if I joined a fraternity. I joined a business fraternity at Sac State, and I realized I could talk to people and I could get all the test answers I needed. And I learned how to use communication and persuasion and friends in order to get what I needed, you know? I can't hear you. You need it.
What's the biggest regret that you have in your life? Like, what's your biggest regret?
My biggest regret. That's a good one. You know, I'm pretty freaking excited with where I'm at now, and I love all the pains I've went through, and I've been able to reframe everything that's happened and found the good in it. And I think it really toughened me up and hardened me up. But I do regret, even then, I could say my DUI, but even then, that I needed that at the time. I'm just glad I didn't hurt anybody else. Boy, bro, I reframe. I don't have too many regrets because I love where I'm at, and I really look at every situation that life brings us as an opportunity to learn and grow and make us better. So I don't have a single biggest regret. I really don't. There used to be things I used to have said I wish I would have gone all in on SEO when I was first looking at it in 2006 instead of being stoned all the time, but I wasn't ready. So like, it's easy to say get into entrepreneurship earlier than I did, but you know, even then I still feel like I needed to be ready for it. And I needed my experience in pro sports to kind of wake me up and, you know, pull me out of what I was doing. So yeah, I don't know, man. I believe that everything happens. We can look for the good in it, even if it's extremely painful. There's always something good that comes from shit.
What about your biggest fear? Like, what are you scared of?
What am I scared of? My biggest fear, honestly, is not being, just really not going all in. Anything that I hold, trying to discover what I'm holding myself back from. I know that sounds really cliche, but not going all in. Like what I don't like and what I want to shift. I think the world's way too angry. I think there's way too much divisiveness, especially over silly things. If we all understood that humans at the end of the day just want to be happy and raise a family and make a little bit of money, and we try and let all these filters that come in our life, whether it's politics or whether it's how businesses should be ran or jealousy or whatever it is, right? And I want to go out there and share certain messages with the world in regards to mindset. And so if I don't fully go out all in and really try and, do what I feel is my part to try and impact others, I think that's a huge fear of mine. That's probably going to be it.
So what about employment? Did you work for the man at some point and have like a typical job?
Yeah, that's a good question. I did. I actually worked most of the time. The only time I didn't work was when I was really being a knucklehead, and I had a lot of free time. I worked at In-N-Out Burger. Actually, it was my first real job, and it was great. I've always believed that you can work your ass off at whatever job you're at. I don't know where I picked that up from. It was probably from Earl Nightingale or Jim Rohn or some Tony Robbins when I was a kid. But I always worked my ass off. So In-N-Out Burger, the bookstore at the university. And my first real career job was actually in the NBA with the Sacramento Kings in Sacramento. And then I got promoted to the NFL for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So those were my corporate 9-to-5, wear a suit every day type jobs.
And now you're a co-founder of a fucking multi-million-dollar marketing agency, right?
Yes. Yes. Sir.
So tell me about that. Like, how did you make that transition? How did you go from fucking working out there to saying, fuck it, I'm going to start my own shit?
Yeah, man. So and I want to reiterate what I was just saying. I've always, not always, I picked up the concept that wherever you're at, if you do more than what you're paid for, you'll soon earn more than what you do. And so I've always tried to excel and become the best I possibly could in any situation, whether that's the best bookstore employee I could ever be, whether I was the best salesman in the NBA, whether I was the best in the NFL. And I did, right? By the time I was in the second year in my NFL franchise, I was a top salesman on the team I was on and was excelling, and I was getting ready to go into management, but it wasn't moving fast enough for me. And my business partner flew out. He's my current business partner. He flew out to Tampa, Florida. I was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and on a beach for New Year's one year, I just got my W-2. They don't pay you very well in the NBA and the NFL when you're on the business side. In fact, you get fucking hosed. It's kind of a scam. It's one of those things where it's like, and I love my mentors over there. But they really don't pay you well because they have the authority of being like, come work for the NFL and it's going to make you feel cool, you know? And so you're really not paid very well. And my business partner was like, yo, let's start a business. I need a sales guy. And I'm like, all right, cool. Cause I had just seen my W-2. I'd been there for 4 years. I'd helped people get jobs with base salaries who I knew were nowhere near as good at sales as I was. That were more than what mine was, plus my salary, plus commissions when I was the number one person on the team, and I was working 60, 70 hours a week. And my next level up in management wasn't going to be that big of an increase either. You have to really climb the ranks. You can make good money at the top for sure, but it's a long way up. And I was just like, fuck it. So I moved from Tampa to Utah and the freezing cold in winter, and like all in like a 3-week period. I said, fuck it. I just decided to go all in. And we moved over there and we just started a digital marketing agency. He had an online marketing background and he had started a business before that had some success. And so he was a huge jumping point. Like I was like walking up to the cliff, right? But he was the one who just kicked me off and gave me that like belief that, you know, we can do this shit.
So how important do you think it is to have like a co-founder in your business versus trying to go at it alone?
That's a great question. And I hear people talk in absolutes, and I caution anyone to talk in absolutes, right? Some people like, oh, partners suck. You should never have them, right? And then some people like, you know, partners can be great. They can be awesome. Yeah, partners can suck and they can be great. Warren Buffett has a partner, right? Like there's no absolutes here. So in my situation, it was important because he helped push me over the edge, right? But I would have gotten to that ledge and jumped regardless. So it really just comes down to, is 1 + 1 going to equal 3? Because if it's 1 + 1 is only going to equal 2, and you don't have skill sets that are going to support each other, or you don't have very, very, very similar values and the way you view money and the way you view work ethic, then it's going to be a brutal, brutal issue. We happen to have a lot of very similar values and saw the world very similarly. We're both very risk tolerant. We're both very abundant focused with money. So it worked out very well. I think you just need to evaluate the partnership and are the skill sets opposite, right? Because what you don't want to do is get two, you know, salespeople together who both suck at organization or whatever and partner up. Like that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But if you can get an operator or an engineer and a salesperson, it can make more sense because the skill sets tend to complement each other a bit more. So for me, it really depends on evaluating the situation and not believing blanket statements. Partners are good or partners are bad. No, you don't need them for sure. But can they help? Absolutely, they can help.
So what do you think like the biggest skill sets that the entrepreneur should be focusing on learning or strengthening?
So this is a good question. And if we're talking overall entrepreneurs, they have to understand sales to some degree, right? I know I love your stuff. I'm not a marketer, but bro, we know you know how to sell some shit, right? Like you have to understand that to a certain degree. You can't just completely outsource sales. And you don't have to be banging phone calls all day long and hitting the streets, right? And negotiating big partnerships. But if you are a solopreneur and you don't understand sales, you're going to be fucked regardless of, you know, how good your product is to an extent, right? So I think that's one of the core metrics of it for sure. I think that understanding your market's huge and knowing who you're serving, but outside of that, you can make it many different ways, right? Like, I mean, there's introverts that can crush it. You know, guys like freaking Sam Ovens, total introvert, but he figured out sales and he's a refiner. He sits there and works on his product all day long. right? Where you got Russell Brunson, who's just out there talking to the world, gifted huge salesman and great marketer, but he's got someone on the back end who can work the product. So I think that sales is one of the few things you have to at least have some understanding of and what that is like in order to be an entrepreneur, and especially to get started, right? At a certain point, you can bring in high-level salespeople or partner with them or whatever, but you're never going to get anywhere if you can't make your first sales, you know?
What about mindset in general? You know, you see all these people doing, you know, just mindset training. I mean, is that bullshit, or how important is that?
Yeah. So in my opinion, mindset's everything, because if you can't sell yourself to wake up in the morning, to actually get out and do the thing that you should do, because action's everything, right? You have to take action. Like when I say mindset is the most important thing, I'm not talking about watching The Secret and, you know, sitting down in a basement and being like, you know, there's no weeds. Like, dude, there's fucking weeds right there. Like, not just like positive thing and bullshit, right? Like, I'm talking about the ability to convince yourself that you can go out and make something happen, right? And then you have to do that before you actually go take the action. Because I'm a big believer in you just freaking blanket action. And when you're getting started, you don't know what good is. Well, I think a huge problem when people are getting started, this is a personal opinion, I'm curious your thoughts on this too, like, is they think that their life should be like the 4-hour work week when they're just getting started. It's like, bro, you don't know how to work smart. Like, I'm all about working smart, not hard, right? But like in the beginning, like, you don't know what's going to work and what's not. And I think that you really need to go out there and take action, get feedback from the environment, take more action, get more feedback. And then you can start to realize, okay, this is what moves the lever, this is not. But sitting there just thinking about theory and how you can do all this stuff and how you can minimize your day before you have any money, like, bro, go make $10,000 a month first. Just get there. And then from there, you can sit back, have some comfort, and take the next level. And that all starts with mindset. You have to believe that you can make it happen. You have to have certainty when you're talking to prospects or customers, depending on what you're selling. And you have to convince yourself that, hey, I'm going to get up today and make this happen every single day, right? Because you're going to get rejected. You're going to look like an idiot sometimes. You're going to fail. And you have to be able to reframe your mind and say, you know what, let's make this happen. We can get this going. We got to keep going, right? I think every successful book person I've ever heard of talks about the importance of failure, right? Failure is literally nothing but feedback from the environment you didn't like. That's it, right? So you get the feedback from the environment. You tweak it and you do more, right? Life, it's very simple. Input, right? Go take an action, observe the results from the action. If you like it, do more of it. If you don't like it, change it. Like, that's it. But most people don't observe their actions. So we can talk a lot of that type of stuff, right? But mindset's everything. Without having a mindset to get up and go and do something, you're never going to get anywhere.
Yeah, I think personally the whole concept of a fucking 4-hour workday, work 4 hours so that you can have the rest of your time to fucking not work, I think it's stupid as fuck myself. If you could get so efficient at what you did where you could fucking make enough money just to be happy and do whatever the fuck you want in 4 hours, like, imagine what you could do if you worked fucking 20. Like, yeah. I think it's stupid. I think people who want to work, who just want to go, you know, have their little thing so they can work 4 hours or so that they can not work, I think they lack some real ambition and they really lack fucking passion is what I think. I work like 18 hours a day, and it's because I don't want to work 4 hours. What the fuck would I do with the rest of the time? I would sit there and think, you know, like, I could be working, building something even bigger than what I have right now. But you said you were talking about failures. Do you have any like big failure that's actually just dropped you to your ass?
Oh yeah, man. It took me a year to get my first sale in digital marketing. Literally a year. And I had just come from being the top salesman 3 years in a row for a company, right? Do you know how much fucking mind chatter I had to battle that? Thoughts that popped up. Man, what if my business partner gives up on me? Man, what if, you know, I could only sell for a sports franchise? What if I can't do this for, you know, to business owners? What if this shit ain't gonna work? I was a walking digital marketing agency, right? I put on a suit, which I didn't want to be on. And I assumed I could do everything to everyone. Here's a good freaking, one of the biggest lessons I ever learned. So when I was getting started, I was literally, oh, you wanted a website? Yeah, I can build your website. Oh, I can build your SEO. Yeah, I can do email marketing. Yeah, I can do SEO. Yeah, I can do SEM. Oh, you want YouTube? Cool. You want Twitter? I got it, right? I was a walking digital marketing agency. I had no specific offer. I wasn't going after a specific market. I had no specific pain points I was attacking. And I was just for like a year. It wasn't actually until Billy Jean, who I always give all the credit to in the world, Billy Jean is marketing, my man, fucking hit me with a Facebook ad that I spent $10 on this little flash drive, right? I spent a little bit of money on this flash drive, and they upsold me for $27 so that I didn't have to wait for the flash drive to get there for the training. I was like, my first funnel. I didn't realize at the time. He was like, dude, Facebook ad agencies, find one niche. Or he didn't even say find one niche. He said Facebook ad agencies. I'm like, oh, I like this, because I never thought of Facebook ads. And then I started doing his little thing, and I found this little niche, and I found the niche was like worth a lot, very profitable, right? And then all of a sudden was like, I'm just going to attack everyone in the country who has this specific niche. For those who are wondering, it's integrated medical doctors who focused on non-surgical pain relief using a solution called hyaluronic acid that stopped osteoarthritis of the knee. That's it. We went then after, once I realized that, $0 to $100,000 in 10 months, 0 to 100K run rate in 10 months, 1.7 million our first full 12 months in business, right? Our first calendar year, that was in our calendar year. We did 100K that March. By the end of that year, we did 1.7 million, because I went all in on this niche, right? And I literally went everywhere. And I realized one offer, one problem, one solution, right? Most people's shit is everywhere. I don't care if you can help everybody. That's not going to sell to that individual, right? You got to really hyper down. If you want to make more money, find a bigger problem, or find a really hot problem and find a solution to it, and then sell them the solution. We make this shit way too complicated, right? Like, find a hot problem that everyone's talking about, or it's a burning problem that no one solve it, and then sell them a solution. That's it. Like, that's business in a nutshell, right? You look for problems. I'm sure you do the same thing with your softwares, right? You find something that fucking people are struggling with, or you see them talk about, bitch about in the comments, like, oh, I could build that and I'm going to sell it to them. Like, the market tells you what they want all the time. We found out this was huge, and so we blew up from there. So tons of failures, years straight of failures. And I was like gambling every night to keep myself, from having to go get a job. Like, I literally charged $2,000 to a credit card, and I was hoping that, like, LeBron James didn't miss a free throw and I'd lose my bankroll and I'd have to go back to work. Like, and that's how it was. In the morning I worked at the agency. Thank God my business partner had faith and support me. And we kept going, because it certainly paid off for us in the long run.
Like,
that was one failure. That was a lot. But
what type of gambling? Like, when you play cards?
So yeah, daily fantasy sports. So FanDuel and DraftKings. I was literally drafting fantasy football and fantasy basketball and fantasy baseball teams, gambling on them. And then that was my only source of income at the time.
So you run a marketing agency now, so you do marketing shit for people, right?
Yeah.
So I see a lot of marketers and shit. And do you think your job as a marketer is just to generate leads and hand your client leads?
Hell no. And we don't, and that's the worst thing you could ever do. No, local businesses. So I work with doctors and local businesses. I'm only going to speak to where I have the majority of my experience in, and that is in the local business market. I understand local business market, not only from my experience, but also from coaching hundreds of other people who've done agencies and watching it, right? And I've got a lot of experience in that market. If you just send a local business leads, you are going to fail. You are going to run into the ground. They're going to face plant the leads. Well, I don't even like calling it a marketing agency. I just do to name it. We're a sales conversion agency. I teach them how to sell. I have a clinic director on my staff who's closed tens of millions of dollars in new patients, who coaches our doctors every single week, right? We're going to be getting medical doctors on staff to teach them how to run paid exams. So we not only generate the leads, but we teach them how to run the staff. We teach them how to the staff to make phone calls. We teach them how to, hold on one sec. We got something going on here. We teach them how to, run the consults. We teach them how to set up the consultation rooms. We teach them the type of lighting they should use. We teach them how to put shit on the wall. So great question, and hell no. Because if you do that, you're just going to run into walls. And if anyone ever tells you, oh, my shit's so great, or I close 90% of my people, you need to run even further, right? Because these guys have no clue what they're doing. So no, I don't think your job is that. And I think that's a quick way to go out of business. And I think the market's completely shifting into niche-based, really being able to solve the problem on the front end. Because if you think about it from local businesses, these guys are tradesmen, like doctors and HVAC guys. They were never taught how to run businesses or how to close deals. They're just really good at their trade,
So, I mean, why go through that trouble though? Like, why instead of just running a Facebook ad and getting some leads and saying, oh, hey, here's your list of leads that I just, like, why go through the trouble of actually saying, hey, fuck that, let me actually help your business and let me, help you convert?
So that's a great question. So I'll give you a story of our agency. I've been able to generate sales basically at will since August of 2017, when I learned how to capture the power of inbound webinar traffic and inbound BSLs and sales letters. So I have doctors scheduling my calendars every single day. And I've been able to do that since then. Even before that, I had a really good method of getting new sales. And what I realized was that the method you're talking about, where if I just sent people leads, maybe 20%, 2 out of 10 are actually going to be able to take those leads and do anything with them. The rest are going to blame you for them being shitty. Doesn't matter what you do, they're going to blame you. Okay, so I started getting really tired of this hamster where we were selling 10 to 15 clients on every month, but we were losing like 6 or 7, right? So we were still growing, but that was just headache for the staff. It was headache for onboarding. It was headache for us. Clients bitching aren't fun, and just no lack of accountability and responsibility on their end, right? And it got to the point where last summer, a year and a half ago, we decided to try and solve the problem a different way. We're like, you know what? We are going to start an inbound call center that confirms appointments, right? Because the biggest problem was always the staff just not calling the leads, right? And then half the time the doctors didn't know how to close leads either. That's a whole different discussion. So we're like, you know what? We're going to start a call center and schedule these guys and get them in the door. Well, guess what that did? It got people in the door and then they couldn't close them. And then they really blamed everything on us. Because at least in the past, they started getting violent and mean during this time, like really mean. Previously, you know, we had some people who were upset, but we could always be like, look, your staff didn't call the leads and I can prove it. Go check your call fucking recordings. Like it's right there. Here's your secret shop report. You didn't even call the lead. How did you expect to do it? Now, once we were in charge of that and they got people and then they really blamed everything on us. So it got to a point where it's like, we actually sat here about it just over a year ago and we're like, all right, you know, 3 million or just under 3 million last year. And it's like, and it's been quite a fun year. By fun, I mean, it was the call for was a huge disaster. We probably lost $250,000 at least on that. And just lost revenues, things like that. We still had a good year overall, but it could have been a lot better, right? And we're like, what's next? Do we even want to go down this route? Do we want to go all in? Do we want to go on this marketing agency? Do we want to work with these guys? And we realized to serve them, we went back to what I was talking about a minute ago. What's their biggest problem? Their biggest problem is these guys don't understand that this is all a sales game. It doesn't matter how good your injection product is, right? If you can't get the patient to trust you, then you're never going to sell anything. And obviously we only want to work with credible doctors who are doing good things, but like we see amazing physicians who have nobody coming in because they don't understand this gap, right? They think that they should only have to spend 3 minutes with the patient and buy based on their credentials. And like, that's not how healthcare works, especially in cash pay healthcare, which is where we work. And so what's their problem? We have to fundamentally reframe the entire way they think about their business, their practice, and everything. So we I went and consulted 10 doctors and learned everything I could about the market, about them. We brought on a clinic director who's done tens of millions. And now our product's never been better. We have people who are signing long-term contracts, lots of them. We already had some, but now the percentages are so much higher. Instead of maybe 3 or 4 out of 10 crushing it, we're up to like 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 crushing it, which is amazing by marketing agency standards. So it was really just wanting to solve the problem, keep the business alive, and deciding to go all in, right? Because the market that we work with, we actually have a passion for it gets people off of prescription drugs. It avoids surgery. It gets people to take control of their health, right? You know, with the weight loss product programs and diabetes programs, like, and all these things. So like, it's all things that myself and my business partner are passionate about. And frankly, there's also a lot of money involved in healthcare, you know, and that's a factor as well.
But basically, if you don't step in and do this shit for them, and you just deliver them leads, and they can't convert them into money, they're gonna hate you, and they're just not gonna pay you anymore, right?
100%.
They're not really hiring you to bring them leads. I mean, they hire you because they want more money, right? Not more leads.
Yep. That's a great point. They think that the way they see the world is that like there's this marketer that has a unicorn lead and then they get cash. Like they don't understand that like there's the ad and then the landing page and the targeting and then the initial phone call. And then when the patient walks in the office and the call, they don't understand that there's like this entire patient buyer journey that goes on. So you're 100% nailed it. They don't care about leads. They only care about more money.
So I want to talk about the shit that you have to sell, and I'm going to give you a chance to provide whatever type of value that you want to provide. I know you're really good on sales and marketing in general. But I'm curious, could you maybe like sketch out a plan, like a high level plan, if somebody wanted to quit their job and go start a marketing agency and be able, I mean, because a fucking multi-million dollar a year company is not a fucking joke. Some people think that that, you know, it's so easy to start a company and run a company, and, you know, like 70% of companies don't make more than $1 million a year. So like to do that, it's a accomplishment. So could you like maybe high level out a plan of what somebody would have to do and how long it would take them to do something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the number one thing that they would have to, and I'm going to talk specifically about marketing agencies, right? Again, that's my world. That's where I can focus. There's a lot of ways, just for anyone who's watching this, you can make money. One of the number one factors is you have to pick one, right? Like e-commerce, affiliate marketing, software, like all this stuff, it works. It all does. You just have to pick one. That's your first step. Decide that you're going to choose one and don't have shiny object syndrome, right? Get to 10K a month with one. Then you can decide, because at 10K a month, you've got some breathing room, right? And I mean profit, not necessarily 10K in e-com sales where you're losing money, right? Now, in the local business world, the next thing you have to understand is how do customers buy and where does marketing come from? Like, right, I can teach you about an ad and a landing page, but like, how do you get them in? What's the importance of it? And then from there, what you need to do is you need to go out and pick a niche. Okay, you need to choose an industry, a niche. The best industries and niches are the ones that already advertise. It's actually very simple. So the next time you get, you know, your money mailer or the, you know, newspaper, all the junk mail delivered to your house, scroll through those. Those are your target market, right? Because basically you want to get them to shift spending their money there and get it to spend your money with you. So the window glass repairs, the dentist, the orthodontist, the chiropractors, the restaurants, the, you know, skydiving places, whatever it might be. So those are the people who are marketing, right? And then from there, okay, you've got your niche, and then you go out and you go to BNI groups, you go to networking events, and you start talking to other business owners, you start to be comfortable with those individuals. And then from there, you basically decide who your niche is going to be. I recommend going to live networking events, because I think that if you're going to sell to businesses, you have to be able to shake one in the hand and be comfortable with it. I don't think it's a good long-term strategy at all, especially for scaling. But you decide that, and then from there, you need to build a plan to get in front of the niche that you have chosen. Right? You understand marketing. Now you understand that there's the niche you want to go after and the type of customer you want to generate them. Now we need to build a outbound sales plan, right? Whether that's cold email or, you know, Facebook direct messaging, or hell, I mean, like I said, just even going to networking events. Then from there, you get on a sales call. From there, you get to know them in the market. You offer them a solution, whether that's getting them, you know, new customers or new appointments or leads or building a landing page. Then you grow from there, right? Now, in reality, in regards to timeframes, it really depends on an individual's market or previous experience, okay, and what they know and where they're at. If somebody's never sold before and they knew nothing about marketing, like it might take you 6 months to get their first customer. You know, at least it took me a year. Now, I didn't have a lot of the cool things that they've got today, and I know about these groups, but it can take you a little bit. But with the right plan, the right action in place, you can get there a hell of a lot quicker. Does that answer your question as far as what we were talking about there?
I think so, yeah. It's a lot of fucking work, right?
What's that?
It's a lot of work, right? Like a lot of fucking hard work.
Absolutely, and I would never say otherwise to anyone. I think it's silly when people say otherwise. It's possible, but it's certainly a lot of work.
So you have a lot of experience in sales and in marketing and creating offers and shit, right? So go for it. We're going to talk about all the shit that you have to offer, but I want to see, you know, whatever value you think you can provide people that you're comfortable just, you know, spewing out some good information to them.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to reiterate what I think is the most important thing, and that is find a problem that's hot in the market and find a good solution. Like that right there, that's the simplest key. It sounds so freaking simple, but that's it. Because if you think about people, right, and every day they wake up, they're in a situation. They want to get to a future desired situation. The more that you can help them get to that desired situation by solving their problem, that's how you win everything. So think in terms, when you're thinking of businesses or starting your businesses, think in terms of problems and how you can build a solution. Like that's like the most important thing. Sounds simple, but really be thinking about that. Now, in regards to offers, everything like that, man, I'm a big believer in come gauge some of my content. I give a lot of free content away. So I've got 2 areas where people can come in and follow and learn more. In my 7-figure Krusader Nation Facebook group, in there, I've got entire breakdowns in regards to how to run sales calls, how to close calls, how to choose a niche, how to keep retention, how to build out your agency, how to keep it for the long term. These are all Facebook Lives that are saved for free inside that group. And so I think that's going to be the best place for people to get to know me and the products. I'm a big believer in come in, get to know me, and then make sure we're a good fit. You vibe, right? And then you can get in the products, right? So I do have offers, things like that. But I'm a big believer, bring them in. Is it good? Or if they, vibe with it, then jump into it from there. So there's a ton of free content in that group. And then also I'm doing free stuff every day on Instagram at Nik D Robbins. That's NIKD Robbins. And on there, I'm sharing all kinds of stuff about, mindset and, optimization and sales and marketing and business and that type of stuff. So those are the places to jump in. And in those there's a ton of free resources on everything from building an agency in the 7-figure. And then the other one has a lot of stuff in regards to mindset and mind hacks.
So you got a bunch of free stuff inside your Facebook group and
yes.
on Instagram?
Yeah, the Facebook group has a ton of free trainings, everything from how I run my qualifying calls. I mean, I give away, like literally how I run, I've sold millions of dollars worth of agency work in there. I walk people through the scripts. I walk people through the qualifying call and the sales process. I recently did a training last week on how to double your retention rate that is pinned at the top of the group. And then inside there is a ton of other, free lives that people can really, jump into and check out that. And then from there, if it makes sense and people like some of the things I've got, a private program, the Krusader Nation or the Agency Sales Crusaders, which teaches you everything from how to attack the mind, how to find the right niche, problem, service, how to build your offer for your agency, exactly how to prospect, get people inbound, exactly how to run qualifying calls, exactly how to close, how to scale your agency, how to run your your client success team, and then also how to do inbound traffic, right? One of the big things that I'm probably one of the best things I ever learned how to do was get leads to come to me. So I can build VSLs in almost any niche. I can get inbound traffic so that sales calls get scheduled on my calendar so I don't have to run them down and run them cold, which is also in the program. So
your free group and stuff, that's easily accessible just by, all they got to do is visit your Facebook profile, right? And you just funnel them right in there.
Yep. Yeah, it's right there on my Facebook. Yep, it's right there on the exactly. Got it funneled in there. And then from there, you hear about the program and everything along those lines in the 2.0. And obviously, I got a lot of good stuff in the free group, but the 2.0 program is like the step-by-step guide in order how to do it. Got over 250 people in there. And people are obviously interested in more. I can share whatever with them. And then I'm not sure if people are asking questions or if there's any questions. I'm obviously more than happy to talk about anything right now as well. Or if there's anything you think that I should tap on, I can expand on anything here.
What about low ticket? Do you have some type of low ticket offer?
That's a good question. I am thinking about one for Fred. I don't have a low ticket offer right now. Up until this point, I've actually kept it pretty high ticket. And here's the reason why. I've always been an agency owner first. I've not been an info product guy first. And so I've always been the Krusader Nation was always a byproduct and a more of a fulfilling thing that I've done versus the agency work. So I haven't sat down and tried to deconstruct and build a bunch of offers and little things like that. It's kind of just always been a secondary because I've always felt that, in order to coach agencies, you should probably run an agency. Apparently a lot of people don't seem to agree with me on that in today's world, but I don't have a low ticket offer on that side, but that's why. It's because it's all real stuff from real agency work and, what's really going on behind the scenes.
What about continuity? You got anything for continuity? Like any monthlies?
I don't right now, but that's coming. So continuity is going to be coming out in January of 2019. I've just recently taken a little bit of a step back from my main agency, and I'm going to be focusing more on getting some of this information out. And so becoming the free group, we're going to be working on sharing a lot of cool stuff about what's coming up.
What about, what's that continuity offer going to be? Is it like training or coaching or something like that?
Yeah, it's going to be ongoing training. It's probably going to be $47 or $97 a month. It's going to be ongoing training, coaching on everything agency related, sales related, marketing related, neuroscience related, funnel related, getting people inbound. And then also it's going to have a unique unique angle and hook on it, where there's going to be a lot about health optimization, mind optimization, and how much that actually matters in regards to entrepreneurship. Like, you have to keep your mind good. You have to keep your body healthy if you want to think cognitively at the highest level. So that's what's going to be coming here in January, and I'm really excited about.
And you do obviously have high ticket stuff, right?
Yes, definitely.
What's that high ticket stuff?
Yeah, so I've got a mastermind right now that is $10,000, and it is for one-on-one coaching. It's for a 6-month program. The results in there are a lot of fun. I had a good time with it, and that gets the behind the scenes to how to really take your agency to the very next level. One of the things I've done with my agency is it's not really an agency anymore. It's more of a membership program where people are a part of a training battleground, where it's got a Facebook group for our clients with live training and updates and all this stuff. And I show people exactly how to do that. I also give them my best stuff in regards to SOPs, workflows, Monday.com, Asana, that type of stuff.
So you said $10K for a 6-month program, and that's one-on-one coaching?
Yeah, and so it's got weekly group coaching and then one-on-one coaching tied to it as well.
That seems like it's priced obnoxiously low.
It is.
Coaches compared to
it's obnoxiously low, and the reason why is I actually just started it 3 months ago, and so this is the first batch, and the results are already insane. So it's probably not going to be like that when the next round comes up, for sure. But that's the current offer is place that it's in. But it is obnoxiously low. I agree, and I've been told that by even the people who are in there. And even funnier is because they've been following me for a long time because they were in the original Crusaders program. They're like, dude, I feel like I owed you this money to begin with. So here you go. Everything else is just house money, and we've obviously been having a lot of results from there.
So what else do you have that's high ticket? Is it just that?
Just that right now, yeah. That, and then because of the agency. So like in regards to offers product, I've been really big believer in dominating our product and our offer for our agency first. So everything else I have is all doctor related and things like that. It's only been recently that I've been able to have some time to do some of the other types of coaching programs.
And you basically work with a really weird ass niche with doctors, and you just only work with that niche?
Yeah, we've expanded to working with the majority of private practice cash pay providers. So we used to only work with integrated medical doctors who focus on pain management, but we've really opened that up to include functional medicine, which is like your ED doctors, your hormone therapy doctors, your TRT doctors, your so that's a lot of metabolic imbalance doctors, right? And then we also do cash pay stuff. So we're starting to expand more into plastic surgeons, cosmetic surgeons, veins, things like that. We've opened up our niche a little bit because we've got, specialists in-house now, and I just wanted to get a bigger piece of the market.
So is the ED doctor, is that like a dick doctor? Is it like
yep.
Our doctor?
Dude, bro, that's like my favorite client. We print for ED, dude. Seriously. Wave therapy, my man. It's literally this wave therapy, that shit that they can stick on your dick and fucking, get it going. Like, it literally crushes. We do extremely well with our ED docs.
You say they put steak on your dick like a filet mignon or something?
No. It's like a wave. It's called wave therapy. And so like you put something on there, and I don't know how it all works. They explain it to me, but like there's a couple treatments, and apparently it works like crazy to re-stimulate shit. And it's really popular. You'd be shocked at how cheap we get. Well, maybe not shocked, but we get really, really cheap ED leads. Let's just say that.
So if I'm one of these doctors that you work with, what's that? How's that work? Like what do you do for me, and how do I get in contact with you to start the process?
Yeah, absolutely. So send me a PM, and I'll send you to a video that it talks a bit more about what we've got. Again, I'm a big believer in let's make sure we're a good fit together. You understand our philosophies, right? And from there, what we do is we meet and we learn more about you, your practice, and your goals, what you're looking to do, where you're looking to get, what your experience has been, how much availability you've got, right? And then after that, if you decide to work together, we actually have a 3-month campaign that we do. It's a 90-day program, and it's $99.97, right? Got to do the marketer thing, got to drop it off $3. And we have a double your money back ROI guarantee. So it's an ROI guarantee. It's action-based. It requires you to do work. No question about that. If you don't call the leads, you will not hit your ROI guarantee, and you will not make money. That's why we did it, because no one was calling the leads. Shocking, I know, but it's amazing how many businesses don't call their leads. So we've got an ROI money back guarantee, and you meet with our clinic director who's closed tens of millions of new patient revenue. He ran an 8-figure clinic for 9 years. And he is our lead coach, for lack of a better term. And then from there, we get you your staff implemented with our scripts. We reframe the way that you think about patient journeys. We get you set up with closing scripts. We get you set up with financing. If you don't have it, we teach you how to run report of findings and ROFs. And then from there, we get ready to launch our 60-day campaign. We ran ads for 60 days. And then after that, we continue to work together on 3, 6, and 12-month contract basis.
So basically when I work with you, you're gonna dive into my business and make sure that I have a proven process to take my leads, nurture them in person, and put money and shit. And then once that's there, you're gonna bring me the leads and make sure that I'm following that process.
That's it. We spend the first 30 days getting everything dialed in, getting things ready to go, getting your staff familiar with the scripts, running role plays, getting you ready to go, getting a salesperson in there if we need to help you hire a salesperson. We do everything from hiring front desk staff to motivating staff to working with you as the closer. We see where you're at in regards to how your office is currently constructed. And then we also set goals for how we want to get the office constructed, right? If you're a doctor and you're watching this and you're closing, like, unless you're like Jordan Belfort out there, you shouldn't be closing, right? Like, you need to get a closer in there. You should be the doctor figure who comes in and does the exam, because that just, you don't want to do the exam and then go out and ask for money. It's just, there's ways to run things that are most ideal, right? And most likely, if you're a doctor, you're also uncomfortable for money. Also, if any doctors are watching this, the worst thing you can ever do is tell someone how much it costs and then tell them to go up front and pay Becky at the front desk and expect that people are going to pay $5,000 to Becky at the front desk without any other situation. Shocking how much that happens. So yeah, we come in, we install the process, and then we run the process. And it's just iteration and improving the process we grow.
And the all these little marketing firms and little Facebook firms and shit that are just out there that aren't doing that aren't giving a fuck about a process or actually helping the business owner convert those leads, and all they're doing is just generating leads and throwing them at their clients. That's the reason that they're not multi-million-dollar agencies, pretty much, right? That's it. And that's the main reason that they're not keeping a client more than 1 month or 2 months, is because
100%. And that's why they're burning out. They're burning out. They're leaving. The amount of people who started agencies 3 years ago when it really exploded with some of the big course sellers that I'm sure we know, that have one today is probably like 3%, because they burn out. They don't know how to keep clients, and they don't know what the real problems are in the marketplace.
So there are actually a couple questions that people wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Based on the data you've gathered, would you recommend for agencies when creating appointments to fully automate the appointment process by automatic sending prospects a link where they can schedule their own call, or the alternative, making barriers for prospect as low as possible and human contact with prospect to schedule the appointment call?
All right, let me see. I think that I heard what you said, but I want to make sure that we got that right. In general, you want to automate certain parts of the appointment process, right? You want to automate the scheduling page. You want to automate the reminder process, those types of things. But what you can't do is not have a confirmation call to confirm the schedule. You absolutely, and I think that might be the question. You need to have a good confirmation call. Like, even if they schedule online, assume that they will not show up unless you have a good confirmation call where you build a relationship with the patient or whoever it is. Doesn't matter what it is. Have a good relationship. Don't just be like, hey, this is Becky. I'll see you Tuesday. No, like, hey, Becky, what caused you to schedule with us? Oh, I can't wait. Build a relationship, right? You have to have that call. From there, I believe in automation for the reminders and a lot of other pieces, but you have to have that human touch point, because here's the thing. It's much harder to no-show on Becky at, Dr. Robbins' office than it is at, random medical clinic where we've got no friends. So we've got to have some sort of emotional connection there.
So for sure, don't automate the whole thing. You can automate everything, but part of the automation process needs to be human contact.
Yes, 100%, especially in the medical field, because we're skeptics. Like, if you're going to get a 2-for-1 skydiving, deal, like, that's a little bit different, just because you're going to show up to take advantage of your 2-for-1 offer. But when you're talking medical, where people are already scared, they already don't trust the medical industry, you have to have some sort of healthy connection with them, because people's walls are already up and they're like, I already don't trust medical things, and I'm scared. I didn't want to go. So if you have a good conversation with someone at the front desk, you're much more likely to go.
So another question for you was basically, would you mind sharing the sales script for the second call? You always recommend 2 calls. If you don't want to share, or only part of it, is also totally fine.
Yeah. So the sales script is in the, I walk people through, a sales script that I use for, well over 7 figures in the 7-figure Krusader Nation group. It's actually one of the first videos I've done in there. So I've got it. It's really long. So we're going to go through it, right now. I do believe in a 2-call close, if that's the question. And it's not really, I don't think it needs to be 2 calls. I think there needs to be 2 parts. There needs to be the diagnosis, discovery, qualification, inject pain portion, and there needs to be a demonstration. Right? There's a lot of theory out there in regards to 1 call close this, 1 call close that. In my experience, it's very difficult, especially some medical people, using like a Sam Evans based script where you just put people in a lot of pain and use a lot of silence and don't tell them what you're going to do. Like it's a lot harder. And I love that script for other situations, but yeah.
Do you have some type of Black Friday promotion?
I don't right now. I think I'm going to do one. I know I should, bro. I actually was going to do one this weekend, but I'm working on something big coming in January. So for those wondering, like right now, and like I know you've asked a bit about offers and things of that nature, and I'm not promoting super hard or anything because I'm working on something new and big coming in January. So my main thing is I just come follow me, guys. Come see what's up. Come in my groups, come on Nik Robbins, and then just check in, right? One of my big things, I'm a big believer in, let's get people in, let's hang out, and then see if we're a good fit. So I'm working on a big new project coming in January. And the Black Friday promotion was going to distract a little bit from that. I decided it just wasn't worth some of the extra income that was going to come from it when I could be focused elsewhere.
And what's coming in January is your continuity program, where it's basically you're just going to.
It's going to be bigger than that. It's going to be a whole new situation type thing. So I don't talk too much on it at the moment, but it's going to have to do with continuity. There's going to be big ticket stuff where we can work together. But it's going to be something different for the market.
What's your top lesson from the past, which you would recommend to every agency to implement?
Yeah, obsess over customer results. I used to obsess over sales. I sold a lot of stuff, and we made a lot of money, but it was very much a headache. Obsess over customer results. When a customer isn't getting a result, find out why and get ahead of it. Ask them why, what's going on, where does it struggle? They're going to tell you the leads suck over and over again, but take it a step further. When did the lead suck? Did the lead suck because you didn't get a hold of it? Did the lead suck because it didn't ever, show up? Did the lead suck because they were broke? Did the lead suck because they didn't have the condition or the offer that you were doing? Obsess over it and focus obsessively on solving that problem to close more leads. Your job is not a lead generator. If you play that game, you're going to lose to a big lead aggregator at some point anyways, who comes in and can aggregate all the leads and pass it out because they're going to own your face, right? So our job is to really be, consultants and understand and teach them the skills that they don't have in order to close the leads. Because again, like you said before, they're there to make money. They don't care about leads. They think they want unicorn leads, but what they really need is like how to not fuck up a sale and obsess over those results.
It really seems obvious. But then again, there's a lot of people out there who think that as a marketing agency, somebody's hiring them for leads and that's their job. Why would you want to obsess over your client actually getting results? Like, why would you do that?
Because, well, 1, it means your product's working, right? And 2, and I did this for 2 years. Like you said, it seems so simple. For 2 years, I was like blaming the doctors. I'm like, you know what? That guy's just going out of business. He just sucks. Oh, that guy's just an idiot, right? We weren't taking responsibility. And the number one thing you have to do as a business owner, and really just as a human in life, is take responsibility for everything. It doesn't matter if, yes, the doc sucked. Yes, the staff didn't do their job. But what can I do to force them, pull them through to make them do their job and obsess over that? And this goes for everything too. If you're running ads for coaches and consultants, don't run ads to a shitty webinar. Tell them the webinar is broken. Don't run ads to shitty funnels, right? Fix the funnel. And then don't blame each other, because then you just get in this blame game, and then no one trusts marketers, no one trusts funnel builders, and they're all just like hating each other, when it's like, guys, everything has to work seamlessly on the front end. It has to. If it's not seamlessly put together in a sale, from when they come in to how it's nurtured to how the sales pitch goes to how it's closed, it's not going to work. And so if you try and bring outsourced stuff and it doesn't gel properly, it's just never going to work.
So what's next for you, Nik? Where do you see yourself? Like, what's the next major accomplishment you want to do?
That's a really good question. And that's what we're talking more about in January. I'm going to be going really big into sales, marketing, optimization of the mind, how those things integrate together, and how we can go out and truly impact others and, bring, some more happiness and light to this world. I really don't, it frustrates me to see all the upsetness, the anger, the anxiety, the depression, that type of stuff. So that's the market that I want to go after, beginning with education. That's the 5-year plan, is to go after education. But, more details are going to be coming on that. But that's the market I want to get into, mindset, and really trying to make the world a little bit happier place, because it's pretty angry. And it shouldn't be. It's the best it's ever been, like ever. Like by any statistical measure, humans are doing the best they've ever done. So it's crazy to me.
So everybody they can go to your profile, and they just go right to your profile. They can get right into your free group and start in your ecosystem and learn all this shit that they want to learn, right?
Absolutely. And at Nik D Robbins, stay tuned. We got stuff coming in January. If you are an agency owner, you are looking for more direct help, you can shoot me a DM as well. Add me as a friend. Let me know on there. I can share with you more about our programs, what those things type of stuff looks like. But yeah, that's the best way to go in. And I got some cool stuff coming over the next couple of months.
Are there any last words or anything you want to say, Nik?
No, man. What I do want to say is I loved being asked about the childhood growing up. I did not expect that question at the beginning, so that was fun. But no, man, I appreciate having me on. Love watching you do your thing every day. It was good meeting you at CareCon, so appreciate chatting with you today, man.
My pleasure. Hey.
Oh, you're muted, bro. Oh. What's that?
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Oh, you got it, bro. Take care, man. We'll talk soon.
Later.
All right, later.